Yo, what's going down, everybody? It is straight out of Boston here, aka the King of Boston, and today back with episode 31 of the Detroit Pistons Association, and today we have Game 6 of the 2014 NBA Finals. So if you guys missed the last episode, I'll give you a quick recap of how we got here. Entered the NBA Finals against the Denver Nuggets, simulated up until Game 5, which would be the first elimination game. We ended up going down quickly 3-1 in the series. We luckily had an overtime victory in Game 5, so we have forced a Game 6. We are back in Detroit using the 2-3-2 format that is used during the NBA Finals. So the last two games of the series potentially would be played in Detroit, depending on whether or not we are able to force a Game 7. But anyway, so series is right now at 3-2. Obviously, it's win or go home for the Pistons. The Nuggets would love to close the series out now instead of have to risk potentially losing a Game 7 in Detroit, which would be obviously they don't want to play Game 7 in Detroit, you know. So anyway, let's get into the gameplay right here. I do have one thing I want to talk about before we kind of go any further. So what that thing is it's kind of an interesting thing about the offseason. So I've personally played the rest of this NBA Finals series. So I'm already kind of into the offseason. I'm thinking about what I'm going to do for it. And there's kind of an option that I have here. There's a couple big name free agents. Sometimes LeBron James ends up being a free agent in the class of 2014 or whatever, the free agent class of 2014. But he ended up not being it this time. But someone who is a free agent is Carmelo Anthony. And he'd be an interesting guy to go after. Now, the thing is, one, I don't know if it's the most realistic thing to do. I feel like some people are going to be a little bit upset if I try to do that. Two, it would require me trading Nicolas, Batum, and Greg Monroe. So here's the thing. I'd be open to doing it. I think it'd be really fun, actually. I think it'd be awesome. I think it'd be, like, I think it'd just really add a new twist to this series. Would really build a team with two superstars on it in Greg Monroe and, not Greg Monroe, Dwight Howard and Carmelo Anthony. But like I said, trading Greg Monroe and Nicolas Batum would be required just to clear the cap space necessary. And I'm open to doing it. Let me know what you guys think of it. If enough people want to do it, then that's fine. I feel like it's going to ruin the series for some people, though. But I think personally for me, it'd make it kind of more fun, just more interesting. You know, playing with Carmelo Anthony and Dwight Howard, that'd be really crazy. And then, I don't know, maybe we would, we obviously have Shabazz Muhammad. He'd probably be like the third guy if he tried to have like a big three or something, or Brandon Knight. There's also, I mean, you know, if I really wanted to be crazy with it, I've been messing around with the trade finder sometimes, and Kyrie Irving's name pops up a lot. So there's always the potential of like doing like a Brandon Knight for Kyrie Irving deal, but that'd be really unrealistic. But here's my thinking behind the Carmelo Anthony thing being realistic. So for one, and I'm gonna explain my reasoning behind the Dwight Howard signing too, because people still think that that's unrealistic. I'll admit it wasn't the most realistic thing to do. I don't think Dwight would ever come and play for the Detroit Pistons, even if they were good. But the fact of the matter is that in this association, the Lakers did do pretty poorly in the first season with Dwight and Kobe and Pau and Steve Nash together as well. And Dwight obviously is not having a very fun time in LA right now. It's not, you know, out of the question that he's probably going to leave after this year with his contract expiring. So, you know, he's a free agent. There aren't many teams with a cap room to sign him. At least teams with other superstars with big enough markets to kind of sign him. Really, the only two teams that I can think of that might make a run after him are like Atlanta and maybe Chicago, just because Chicago, Derrick Rose and Dwight, and then Atlanta is Dwight's hometown team, and they certainly have the cap space. Now the Bulls would have to amnesty Carlos Boozer before, you know, even thinking about that. But still, I mean, you know, it's just it's kind of weird. There aren't many teams available for Dwight to go to. We had the cap space, we threw him a max deal, and he accepted. So I mean, you know, that wasn't totally unrealistic, and getting Carmelo wouldn't be unrealistic at all. It would be pairing superstars in a relatively big market in Detroit, a team that's had success in the last decade. You know, it's not the most unrealistic signing I've ever heard of, quite frankly. I'm sure Melo would much rather play in LA or New York or even Chicago, some big market like that. But, you know, pairing him and Dwight on a team that's already in the NBA Finals, I mean, he would do that, I think. There's no reason he wouldn't do that, quite frankly. So, anyway, I don't find the Carmelo Anthony part of it being as unrealistic as the fact that we'd have to kind of trade Nicolas Batum and Greg Monroe. But let me know what you guys think of that. I'd be willing to do it. I just want to know if you guys would be up for it too. So anyway, I believe it's about time to get right into this gameplay. As you can see, Iman Shumpert had the nice dunk right there down the lane. Good to see out of him. He's another guy who I'm kind of considering trading. because Shabazz Muhammad is probably going to progress very well, and I'm hoping his perimeter defense is going to progress enough that I just might not need Shumpert, especially if we don't get Melo and keep Batum. Then we don't really have a need for Shumpert. We can put Batum on really anybody. So anyway, you know, Shumpert's another guy we have to kind of think about. I certainly want to expand the bench. I'm not really getting into the gameplay yet, but I'm going to talk about my offseason plans a little bit. I think I've touched on this before, but Harrison Barnes and Cody Zeller are two guys that are definitely going to have to go. I'd like to trade them for 1 or 2 players each, just because I want to kind of spread out the bench scoring a little bit. Having 3 guys off the bench who are really good players isn't really working out right now. Neither of them are just producing enough that we need them to. So I would like to spread out the bench, have just a few more options, a few more guys to go to. I think it would make our bench much more effective and just help us out in the long term. I also am going to try to get a backup point guard, a new one, instead of Isaiah Cannon, just a better defender, better pass-first type of player. And if we get rid of Zeller and Barnes, I'd like another wing player and another post player, obviously, to kind of, you know, offset their losses. We don't need another rebounder with Drummond. He's a great shot blocker off the bench. Urebko, I definitely want to keep. You know, wing player, we could just fill him with Chris Douglas-Roberts. We'll kind of have to see. But anyway, let's get into the gameplay. So 75-62, the Nuggets are kind of pulling away here, but we're trying to make a nice comeback. Great cut there by Brandon Knight, and a nice pass by Harrison Barnes. Now we're down to 13. Cannon with the ball. He's going to kind of find himself some space. Pump. He's going to put this one up and put the 3 in. So he cuts the lead to 10. That is one thing we're going to miss if we lose Cannon. He's just the type of guy that can really create his own shot. And now Batum pulling up for 3 on the fast break. Puts that one in, cuts the lead to 7. So 77-70, Andre Miller, and he's the type of guy that I would love to have on my team, just as a nice backup point guard. He makes a nice dish to Fareed, who's going to drive in and get the 2-handed slam. Now it's an 11-point game, and Brandon Knight with the ball is going to spin off, find himself some space, and if Brandon Knight gets any bit of space, you know he's going to put that 3 in. So anyway, you know, definitely our best 3-point shooter on the team. I love that guy so much fun to use. But Gallinari now with the ball gives it to Jordan Hamilton, the guy who you cannot leave open. He's a dead-eye shooter. He's been killing us this entire series, and certainly continuing his ways here. Now Ty Lawson with the ball. Team up by 9, gives it to Chandler, who puts up the one dribble pull-up, misses, but Fareed on the board. To Lawson, back to Brewer now. Great ball movement by the Nuggets right there, and they take an 11-point lead. Now Muhammad with the ball, finds some space, is going to take a pull-up, fadeaway jumper, and put that one in. I love when Shabazz Muhammad starts hitting his momentum shots like that. He's just really fun to watch sometimes. And now look at another pass to Wilson Chandler. Incredible ball movement by the Nuggets, and they're up by 14. It looks like the Pistons are slowly fading away, but they've cut the lead to 9 now. Knight with the ball is going to find Iman Shumpert for 3, and he puts that one in. The lead is down to 6. The Pistons aren't going to go away that easily. 8-point lead now. Shumpert with the ball drives in, is going to get the tough contact layup to go, and 1. Chance to cut the lead to 5. Very impressive game by Iman Shumpert so far. 9 of 12 from the field for 21 points, as you can see in the bottom of your screen. And now 101-96, Shumpert with the ball to Batum for 3. Man, Batum just stops and pops so well on the fast break. It is so nice. Actually, he didn't really stop and pop there, but he just kind of held up and hit the 3 right there. So impressive to watch. Now down by 2, Shumpert for the lead. Yes, the Pistons have taken the lead. Oh, by 1. What a comeback by this team. Second straight game where they've come back from a double-digit deficit to tie or take the lead late in the game. But Fareed on the alley-oop puts the Nuggets back up by 1. Now they're up by 3. Corey Brewer with the ball, not Ronnie Brewer. I mean, no, that is Ronnie Brewer. What am I saying? Corey Brewer is not on the team anymore. They signed Ronnie Brewer, though, in the offseason. I always get them confused sometimes. But anyway, 5-point game, 111-106. Shumpert with the ball is going to give it to Dwight. Great ball movement back to Monroe, or down to Monroe, I should say. Monroe finishes that one, cuts the lead to 3. Now 115-112, late in the 4th. Brandon Knight could have taken that one, but he's going to dribble it back out, get the screen from Dwight. They don't need a 3. He's going to give it to Dwight down low, cut the lead to 1. So now the Pistons will have to foul, as you're going to see. Kenneth Fareed is going to try to inbound this ball. It's going to be almost stolen. Fareed gets it back, though, and is going to get fouled. He would convert 1 of 2 free throws, so 116-114. Batum into Knight, who's going to drive in. What is he going to do? He's going to pull it back out, try to save for the last shot of the game. Once again, another pick and roll on the same side of the floor. This time he's going to give it to Dwight. Dwight up fakes and puts it in. Dwight Howard has tied the game. He has 29 points. And now on the other end, last chance for the Nuggets. Ty Lawson with the ball. Steps back, puts up a half-court heave, and it's no good. We're going into overtime once again. 116 all. Well, this has got to be like the 5th overtime game we've played in these playoffs. Just incredibly close games. Very fun to watch, very fun to play. And hopefully you guys are entertained by it. But anyway, the Nuggets come out in the overtime period, firing away. Ronnie Brewer on the alley-oop gives them a 2-point lead, but this was really back and forth for a while. As you can see, Monroe's going to get the ball, stop, give it to Howard, and Howard puts that one in now with 31 points for Dwight Howard. Really big game for him, and just great ball movement between the bigs. Always something you want to see. Now Ty Lawson with the ball. Obviously I have Amon Shepard on him, who's a lockdown defender, but man, Ty Lawson was going crazy in this playoff series. Puts them up by 2. Now still 126-124. Bad shot by Greg Monroe, and Chandler is on the boards. He's going to outlet to Ty Lawson, who's going to run the break. He's got a few guys running with him, and Ronnie Brewer is going to put in the slam. Up by 4 now, still up by 4. Time winding down. We get the rebound. We need a bucket here if we want to continue this really season, quite frankly. Brendan Knight for 3, no good. Chandler on the boards. Outlet to Lawson, who's going to get fouled, and it looks like the Pistons are going to end up falling just short. As you can see, Brendan Knight's going to put up this 3, though, when he gets it to go. Actually, that was a short 2, so still down by 3. Chance that just maybe if Brewer can miss a free throw or 2 here, we're still in this, but it's a 5-point game now. Knight gets the ball down. Oh, it goes out of bounds, and that would pretty much seal the fate of the Detroit Pistons. The Nuggets are going to go on to win. That's going to wrap it up for me. I'm going to leave you guys with the NBA Trophies presentation. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think I should do in the offseason. And actually, you can see Brandon's going to hit one more 3 here, and then that's pretty much going to wrap it up. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. So I'm out. Peace.
And they've done it. The Denver Nuggets have won the NBA championship.
The celebration begins on the hardwood. Really a mixture of emotion. And you got to believe it's one that can hardly be described accurately.
Well said, Clark. This is exactly the moment they've wanted, and quite a contrast indeed of emotions.
Well, as much as you'd like to clinch it in front of your home fans, guys, there's something really special about doing it on the road and just seeing the shocked faces of the home crowd and the silence that envelops the arena. It is quite an accomplishment to do so in the face of such adversity.
We now turn our attention to the middle of the floor, to the presentation of the Larry O'Brien Trophy with the NBA Commissioner, David Stern.
Tonight, we have concluded an exciting 6-game final series. It was a thrilling adventure from start to finish, and we can now crown a new NBA champion. These are 2 very worthy teams, but there can only be one champion. So congratulations to the fans, the coaching staff, and a wonderfully talented team, your 2014 NBA champions, the Denver Nuggets.
Well, they did it, and as they celebrate, you can just see the relief, the uninhibited joy, the exhilaration that comes with winning it all.
And Clark, these home fans, a celebration they can only witness in frustration and disappointment. Steve, it is some kind of feeling, certainly.
Yeah, it is. For these fans, to come so close, almost getting there with their team, and all of a sudden to have to watch the opponent celebrate on their floor. A bitter pill to swallow for sure.
And now the presentation for the Bill Russell Finals MVP Award. Let's go to NBA Commissioner David Stern.
A tremendously talented player and deserving of the award named for Bill Russell, the ultimate champion. Congratulations to the winner of the Bill Russell NBA Finals Most Valuable Player Award.
I can speak for myself, but hasn't this been a tremendous playoff?
It really has been, Kevin. You never know when you start the postseason what you're in store for, how things will turn up. But we now all know what the end result was.
Steve, I know you've enjoyed every second of this series.
That's been phenomenal to watch, Kevin, and what impresses me the most is, the NBA playoffs are such a grind. To win it all, to go through so much adversity, the roller coaster ride of emotions, and now all of a sudden this team can just relax and let out everything and enjoy the night.
And we have enjoyed our time with you folks all season long. For Doris Burke, Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and the entire 2K Sports crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying so long. Have a wonderful